Hello world. If you're one of the users who really liked Gemini CLI and was upset when Google decided to kill it in favor of anti-gravity CLI, which, to be honest, is not great yet. They're continued to update it, but it's still far cry from the Gemini CLI. And if you ever wanted to try to use it, you've probably seen this error. So I'll launch my Gemini CLI and you'll see this message. And despite your attempts to log in, even if you're a paid customer and you have Gemini AI Pro, you will not be able to use it unless you use it with the Gemini API, which it's okay, right? If you prefer to pay by token, go for it. You can use the Gemini CLI. But if you really want to use it and use it with any model, just like we showed you in the previous videos of Relay AI, which is my latest project, my vibe-coded project that I launched, which allows you to inject every model you can think of from various providers into Claude, and I had a video on it, and you can see it somewhere here on the screen. Or if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on TikTok, just search for my profile and you see the videos. So these are the two tools I showed you so far. So today's video will show you how you can use Relay AI with Gemini CLI. There are some nuances with it. Gemini CLI currently is defined as experimental support. So if I'll scroll down, it'll show you all the tools that we are currently using. You can see that Gemini CLI is currently experimental, and there is a unique. You can still switch models in line, which took a lot of work and reverse engineering, but the slash command of slash models will not work. And I'll show you everything, how you used to do it. So let's jump into this. So if you don't have Gemini CLI and you want to install it, it's very simple. For example, this is from the Google GeminiCLI.com. You just copy this and you install it. I should be on the latest version. Let's see what's the current version. So it's 0.4.9. I don't know if they're going to continue update it, but that's the latest version that's been for a while out there, almost a week now. So how do we use this with Relay AI? So let me go back quickly to my repo, and the command is very straightforward. You install it with npm. You need to have Node available on your platform, and you can obviously ask any AI how to install Node, and it will take you through the process, take you to the website, for example, on Mac. And this will take you, most AIs will show you the process of how to do it, even AI overview instructions, but you can always go here and install this from the official website. So that's installing it. And once you have Node installed, one command, you just copy it. The current version on the website is 3.5, 0.3.5. Let me just quickly install it. And let's see that it's installed and return the version. So if I'll do Relay AI, that's the command, and you just do version. And it should be 0.3.5, which is so awesome. Well, I'm all set. And if you watched my previous videos, there is a process you need to follow. One is you need to start adding your providers or provider. You don't have to have multiple provider. And the command to do that is Relay AI providers. Over here, you can add providers from using API, or you can use sign in using your XAI or X account. If you're in a premium and above, you can sign in and use Grok models, which is pretty awesome, or use your OpenAI GPT Plus and above if you have that available. So you can use that as well. But if you prefer, you can add any models, including Ollama. So for example, I have Ollama here. Let me just refresh the models to see. Yeah, I still have all the models available. And let me just go back. You can add any providers. Let's show you the list of what's currently available. And we have Alibaba, and you can see all the names. I already added as many as I could, and I will add more if there is demand for the community for a specific provider to be added. So once you add that, the next step will be to build your favorites. And there is a command exactly to do that called Relay AI favorites. And over here, you're building your model favorites. They can come from any provider. And essentially, when you do that, you will be able to switch between these models in your favorite in all the supported tools, including Cloud Code, Codex, Codex app, Cloud Desktop, and now Gemini CLI. In the next major release, I have some few surprises. I will add even more tools. And I think one of the coolest things is I will add a user interface, which you can do everything I showed you, creating the favorites, adding and validating providers and authentication, everything from the UI. And one of them will be even to launch the tools directly from the user interface. So we're moving, even though I tried to design this to be as easy to use as possible, frictionless for non-technical people, I think with the introduction of the UI, it will be even easier and more intuitive. So stay tuned for version 0.4.0, which include a lot of cool stuff, and I can't wait to share it with you. Going back into Gemini. For example, you can see I have a couple of models available here. I can click OK. Before we do that, let me just do a quick refresh all providers. It's always good to refresh your models to see what was added, removed. For example, you can see some changes in Google. They removed one model, and Mistral removed 3 models, probably deprecating. And you can see all the models that were added or removed from each provider in the system. And I have Anthropic, and that probably was the recent model that was available again to all of us, the Fable 5, and we'll see how long it will be available going forward. That's done. Now, let's show you how to launch this. So the way to launch Gemini in Relay AI, as you guessed probably by now, there is a command called Gemini. And let's click on it. Now it's going to ask me, what do you want to use? Let's, for example, select Anthropic, and let's select Fable 5. Let's do that. So I'm going to select Fable 5, and it's going to ask me, do you want to launch it with Anthropic provider? I'm going to use my APIs, and here we go. So as you can see on the bottom, it says the model currently is Claude Fable 5. One thing I want to kind of announce a few known issues. As mentioned, /model does not work, but also when you switch models, this does not work. I will continue to look for a way to make this more seamless and intuitive and clear. But right now, this is the reason it's experimental, because they have a lot of stuff that is hard coded in the code, and it's not as easy to modify config files like I'm doing with the other CLI. So I will continue to explore how to make this more usable, or, you don't have to use it. There are other great tools. You can use Codex CLI or Cloud Code CLI or Cloud App or Codex App to use this with, and soon I will add support for anti-gravity. So if you prefer the anti-gravity, wait for the next major release. But let's see if this works. So I can ask it, and you've probably seen me doing this in the other videos. This is my best way to test if a model works. It's going to be super expensive because I'm using Fable 5, so probably this next question is going to cost me $100, but let's go for it. How many notebooks LMs do I have? As you know, this is a way to test first that I'm getting response from the tool itself and sending it to the Anthropic backend, and then hopefully I'm getting the response and it will execute exactly the command, which means it's going to read a skill. Here it already knows what to do because it's Fable, it's super smart, right? And it's going to do the notebook LM list. Here we go. So I'll do it again. And now it's going to show me how many do I have. So, and of course it likes to call me bro. So this is an example. So as you can see, I just used Gemini CLI with Fable 5. Something that probably nobody ever said before this video, but here we go. And now let's see how you do model switching. So as mentioned, you need to do .model and type the name of the model, but obviously you don't know which models, what their exact ID needs to be. So all you need to do is first time is to click model. We will print the list of models. And what you need to do is just to follow, let's say I want to switch to Minimax. And I have Minimax over here I'll just need to copy this, and all I need to do now to switch to Minimax is to do model Minimax and click enter. And as you can see here, let me just show you, it's still on Fable. As mentioned, this is a known issue. I'm trying to fix it. I will do my best, but we'll see how it goes. But at least I got confirmation in the screen that I am officially on Minimax. And it's going to be hard to confirm. I could ask it, hey, what model are you? Who's your maker? And it will always say Gemini because, again, the model is following. Oh, look at that. So that, I should have waited for the response. But anyways, so this one confirmed it's Minimax. So I can ask it, what was my previous question for you in the beginning of this session? And now let's see if it remembers the context of this call. And yes, I asked how many notebook LM I have. Great. So let's ask it to use another CLI. And this is going to be by Perplexity MCP CLI that you can use to connect your AI agents into Perplexity to do problematic queries. If you have Pro, it's super useful. Even if you're on free, you can still use it and use their Sonar model for quick web searches as another free web search tool for your AI agent. And that should work with Hermes, OpenClaw, or any other tool that you use. Of course, Gemini, Claude Code, and everything else that can execute CLIs. So I'm going to ask it, can you tell me how many Pro queries I've done with my Perplexity? So now it's checking the Perplexity usage, and I got the response. So that was and again, it used an MCP this time. So I showed you an example of how it can use a CLI, which was the Notebook LM, which you saw earlier, and now it's using an MCP. And by the way, speaking of known issues, some of you already reported. So there is an issue right now with Codex. It's known issue. All other tools are having issues with using MCPs because OpenAI is doing something very unique with leveraging MCP tools. They're only using in something with their own models. Even Olama that can launch Codex it's a known issue. And hopefully OpenAI will change this, but until further notice, MCPs are not supported with Relay AI on Codex and Codex app. You can use CLIs, you can use everything else, but just something you should probably know about. That was a quick overview of Relay AI with Gemini CLI. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty useful. If you like Gemini CLI, go for it. Use it. But if you prefer the newer version of Anti-Gravity CLI and the Anti-Gravity 2.0 and the Anti-Gravity IDE, yes, they have 3 different products. Insane. Wait for the next release. Version 0.4.0 will include support for anti-gravity. It was a lot of work. That's why I didn't post a lot of videos for the last week and a half, because I was just working, trying to figure this out. And I think I have something that is working. I'm sure I have something that is working. I'm just testing it as much as I can before I release it. And it should be in the next few days. So stay tuned for this channel or check out my GitHub when I release this. So first, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. If you like the stuff I create and do all these wacky projects and hacks that I'm doing, feel free to follow, like, subscribe, click on the bell thing, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers!
AI spotlight illuminating the future of AI.